Hello, welcome to Purpose Driven Church for Unificationists. We're on day 39, and today we're starting the chapter called Designing a Seeker-Sensitive Service. So Rick Warren starts off this chapter by sharing a little bit of his own personal experience and how when he was young, he used to like to invite his friends to church. But he was always really frustrated because it seemed like every time he invited one of his friends to church, it would always be a service where his dad, the pastor, would talk about tithing, or there would be some guest missionary who would just show slides, or there'd be a communion service or something like that. Basically, something that wasn't particularly interesting, or what his friends, unchurched friends, needed to hear. And he didn't know from week to week if there was going to be a safe service to bring his friends to, and that was very frustrating to him. And he says, it's very common in a church that people don't feel comfortable to invite their friends. And he says there's three basic reasons for this in his experience. First, the target of messages is unpredictable. Second, the services aren't designed for unbelievers anyway, so much of what goes on is not understandable or relatable to unchurched people. And then third, sometimes members are embarrassed by the quality of their service, and they just don't feel comfortable to invite their friends to it. So this is kind of interesting because, I feel like it's really relatable because it shows that, when I look at these challenges and his experience, I think that a lot of people in our church have had that experience too, or have those same feelings. So it's good to know that it's not unique to us. And he says, what is the natural way to, there's a lot of different things you can try to do, right? But what's a natural way to fix this issue? And the answer is, he says, is very simple. You create a service that's intentionally designed for your members to bring their friends and make the service so attractive, appealing, and relevant to the unchurched that your members are eager to share it with the lost people they care about. That's pretty cool. The entire service, not just the invitation, must be planned with the unchurched in mind. So that's really cool. I know people who have said to us that they have people that they'd like to invite, but they don't. They're not doing it because they don't feel really comfortable to do it yet. They don't want to sacrifice their friendship or their relationship with that person just to invite them to church. So, and that makes total sense. So he goes on to say that we need to make it as easy as possible for people to attend our service. Especially here in America, but also in this modern world, people are accustomed to things being convenient. He says your goal should be to remove as many barriers as possible so that unchurched have no excuse for not attending. And he gives a number of very easy to apply, applicable tips. For one, offer multiple services. They've been doing for years. They've had 4 identical services every weekend: Saturday at 6, Sunday at 8, Sunday at 9:30, and Sunday at 11:15. They even have situations where someone will come on a Saturday, they'll go home, they'll invite their friends, and they'll come back on Sunday. It's pretty cool. Offer surplus parking. He says that's pretty important. If you don't have parking, then people aren't going to come. Offer children's Sunday school simultaneously with the service. People don't want to have to deal with their kids, especially if they have young, squirmy children during church. He says put a map of your church on all advertising. I don't know how important that is anymore, but definitely 20-some years ago it was. He also gives very practical tips on improving the pace and flow of the service. He says almost all churches need to pick up the pace of their services. Because we live in a digital age and TV and everything, people have a certain expectation, or maybe they have a lack of attention span, and they things need to happen in succession. He says in many churches, what you'll see is there's a lot of dead time. Things move very slowly. Someone will finish a song, they'll take 15 seconds to sit down, and then the pastor will take 15 or 30 seconds to stand up and move over to the pulpit and welcome people. And he says that by this time you've kind of lost, especially new people. He says work on minimizing transitional times. As soon as one element ends, another should begin. He says look for ways to save time in your service. They're always in Saddleback. They're always looking to save time. He says it doesn't negatively affect the quality of their service. They just look for ways to shorten things and make things more concise. And he says you can get an amazing amount of stuff done in a short time. He says their service is about 70 minutes. Keep your prayers short. The unchurched can't handle long prayers. Their minds wander or they fall asleep. He says, in addition to speeding up your service, work on improving its flow. The difference between an average service and an outstanding service is flow. All right, well, that's all I'm going to cover today. There's much more, but we'll get into it tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Bye.